It was hilarious.
Welcome into the latest edition of the Stealing with the Boys podcast. I am your host, Junnie Real here, along with my boys.
JAWAN Williams.
Coach Campbell.
Well, fellas, I was worried going into it. I thought it was going to be ugly. I was worried about the matchup. And guys, there was nothing to worry about. The Browns are the Browns. The Steelers, a little bit of a slow start. Let them hang around a little bit. But even when they were, it was a one-score game. It just never looked like they were truly in the game. Fellas, Steelers win 23-9. 6 sacks on the Browns. 16 QB hits on Dylan Gabriel. And that Browns running game that I had so much fear over was basically non-existent. And that defense finally looked like a Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Fellas, your reaction after just a really good Sunday and a really good win over a division rival.
Okay. You want me to start? I'll start. Yeah,
Go
I'll
ahead,
start.
Trey. Go ahead. Yeah, you
Um,
start.
Yeah, man, and I was that was a good point. I was worried about the run game and this defense stopping the run because I knew Dylan Gabriel wasn't going to beat us. I knew they weren't going to put up points by dropping back. What did they drop back like 52 times this game? I think. Um, but yeah, I was super impressed. The first time the defense was fully healthy together. Um, and man, they came to play. Like I know it's the Browns, and people are gonna be like, "Oh, this isn't that great of a win. You beat the Browns 23-9." But it's not about us beating them 23-9. It's about how we beat them. Like they they were done from the first whistle. Like we right from the start jumped on them. Darnell Washington that had that catch the first play of the game. I After that, I honestly I don't know if I said this to Juwan or not. We watched the game together, but I don't know if I said this to him. But I was like, after that, I thought like, man, Darnell is gonna be getting these passes. He's gonna be doing his thing. Like I knew after that first play, I was like, they came to play. Arthur Smith came to scheme up this number one defense that we were playing against, and and then the first defensive series, just seeing the defense just work together as a healthy unit, man. It was a beautiful thing to see. And I'm trying not to get super super high because it was the Browns at the end of the day, but it wasn't about them it being the Browns. It was about how we showed up. We looked like we were ready to play them. We were the game plan was amazing. I don't see there's not many things I can like critique about the game plan this game. Um, but it just, man, it felt so good to finally dominate and not worry a second about a game, whether we're gonna win or not, or whether we're gonna come out and look like a mediocre team. Um, there wasn't 1 second in this game.
Shout out to my guy Darnell Washington. First play of the game. I was a little worried because he did fumble. I was a little worried about that. But who would have thought? I have to give praise to Arthur Smith. He's been showing out for last couple games. He was a little rocky, but he's been showing out. Roderick Jones.
Oh yeah, I didn't even get mention him, man.
Roderick Jones.
Shout out. Shout
Shout
out.
out to Broderick Jones. Way to put the dollars on notice and way to play good on sorry bum ass Miles Garrett. Don't you ever, I hope you listen, don't you ever compare yourself to Trent Jordan Watt. All right. Don't you ever do that. You only had two tackles, total tackles. But he's getting paid the same amount. What, the second or third highest paid?
So
John.
no, I think he's the third because TJ got paid, and then Green Bay. I
Yeah,
mean, they
yeah, okay, yeah,
unloaded their Brinks truck
exactly. We
for
got that.
Michael
Yeah,
Parsons.
but
Let him have
overall,
it.
it was a good game. Aaron Rodgers had 235 yards, 21 of 30,
Bro,
easy.
he threw some dots.
He threw, oh my god, the dot on the by the sideline to DK Metcalf, perfect,
One
perfect.
thing I
Even
do got to say about
Connor Hayward got one.
dude,
Connor Hayward, of all people, Connor Hayward. Who would have thought we would be talking about Connor Hayward after? I thought we wasn't going to talk about him this season. But hey, overall, we played good. Jalen Ramsey had 2 sacks. That was crazy. He had more sacks.
that was impressive.
And I like what he said. He said he's going to tell his kids that he had more sacks than Myles Garrett and TJ White. That was funny. But overall, played a good game. The momentum is shifting. Everybody's getting on notice. I need everybody to keep sleeping because I don't like all the momentum, like all the hype on this. I just need them to keep sleeping on this. But we got a big game coming up, so I'm prepared. I'm ready. I'm a little scared, but it is what it is.
No, I mean, and just to go based off what you all did said, I think and since the Big Ben elbow injury, this is kind of what I was talking to y'all about. Since he tore up his elbow, I feel like it's always been a highly competitive game against the Cleveland Browns since that time. Before then, I feel like all of our lives of watching the Steelers, like, we barely bat an eye when we play the Browns, like, oh, finally, like, we get a layup. And, Cleveland has been better the last couple of years, and, we haven't been as dominant. And this was fine. It's finally felt like one of those games like before Big Ben's elbow injury to where, start to finish they just really handed it to Cleveland. I mean, they made Dylan Gabriel look like, I mean, worse than a normal rookie quarterback. I mean, 52 dropbacks, 29 of 52, could barely get anything, only could check it down.
You got to
But
add
but the
though.
number,
He had 6. He had 6. So it was 58 in all. It was 58
yeah,
drops.
58 drop, yeah, because he got sacked 6
52
times.
attempts.
But all in all, man, I mean, the number one thing for me is Quinshon Judkins was, I mean, I have him in one of my fantasy leagues, and so I'm following him really closely, and he's been balling out ever since he came back and signed that rookie deal of his, and the fact that you only hold him 3 yards at carry for 36 yards. I mean, it's just they just couldn't get anything going with him, the run game at all. Swarming Dylan Gabriel, keeping everything in front of him, nothing over the top. I mean, top to bottom, it was just such a great scheme offensively, just being patient. I mean, they didn't take any crazy risk or anything, or they let it come to them. And instead of kind of having that hot start offensively and kind of tapering off in the second half, like we've seen, the fact that they really kind of held their cards in, played the waiting game, and really waited to take their shots. I mean, you look at Aaron missing that big throw to DK. I mean, there was stuff left off the board if we really want to get nitpicky with it. But the fact of the matter is they made plays when they had to. They played consistently. They ran the ball against a really stout run defense, and it's just awesome to see because week one, seeing this offensive line and how they've just gradually gotten better has been something that's spectacular to watch. And if they can keep it going and stay healthy, I think by the end of the year, this unit could be a strength with all the young talent that the Steelers have had and have been waiting for this moment for them to finally come together and gel. So, all in all, the Browns are still one of the worst teams in the league. We're playing them at home, and it was good to see us handle business the way we needed to handle business because in the past, these games were always close because the Steelers made mistakes and allowed them to be close. It was really refreshing to see us get a win where we dominated from start to finish and really didn't have any mental lapses.
I
Trey,
do. I
we
oh, go
got a
ahead.
comment that's from Danny Lynch on Instagram, and he
Yes,
said,
sir.
Trey is a better tight end than Darnell Washington.
Oh, that's my guy, dude. I'll talk about Danny. He's in that. He's actually in sports media. He's out in California, and that was he was a tight end right before me. at my college. So me and Danny go way back. Danny, I would like to say you're the best tight end I've ever seen. So shout out Danny.
Shout out, hey, shout out Danny, shout out Danny.
Speaking of tight ends, I want to shout out two players. Um, before we move on and say that these are two players that as soon as we can throw them a little money, we should do it. And I said this in the pre-show. I think Nick Herbig, let's just put it this way: Nick Herbig and Darnell Washington, they're starting to get like national media, like the sports or the guys that were what do they call it? Being like JJ Watt and Iron Eagle, they were just
Oh,
talking about
commentary. Yeah.
Oh, the
yeah,
play-by-play and the
commentating.
color commentator.
Yeah. So them two were talking about Darnell Washington the whole game, and then get on Twitter right after the game, and every sports Twitter was talking about Nick Herbig and his production in the short amount of time, the short amount of snaps he's been having. I even saw a sports page put out like his projected stats for the year if he continues at this pace. Um, those are two guys that we better get paid soon before they are requiring a lot of money. Um, we go, that's the way we should do business right now. Get those two guys paid up for another couple years. I know are they both on contract years or is next year their contract year? I know they came in the same
Mm,
year.
I think isn't this their third year? This their third year. So I think next
yeah.
year is the contract
I
year.
think I think it's well, but guys are always getting paid after their third year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
which I think we need to get there.
they won't be free agents after this season, but this offseason is the time to pay them
Yeah.
if we are going to, because you always want to pay them that year before that contract ends so you don't have to, worry about competition when it comes to paying money. And
Right.
then they're just
And
that
I
more
think
expensive the following year.
that's exactly what Omar Khan needs to do. I think those are two guys that you can really build around on both sides of the ball. Um, Another thing I wanted to talk about was that outside linebacker package that we had. On pass rushing downs, when we have Nick Herbig out there, Alex Highsmith, and TJ Watt, that was filthy. That like you see where we're producing sacks, and that's where it's coming from. When we know we can pin our ears back, and I saw Nick Herbig start on the inside. He twisted with Alex Highsmith, like did that with TJ Watt. When you can get creative with those things, that's where all these pressures and QB hits and sacks are coming from. It's just exciting to have.
No, I mean, I'll definitely second that. I put a lot of doubt on this defense, and I really did. And I said that's going to be the X factor going forward. We haven't seen this unit healthy all season long, and so it was like, what's some of these mishaps that we're seeing in the run game and these short dump off passes? Because the combination of those two, I mean. Sure, we allowed Dylan Gabriel to throw dump off passes, but we were consistently stuffing the run, and whenever they were going for something downfield, we were always getting home in the backfield. And so now that we have seen that this front seven can stop the run when it's fully healthy in this three linebacker set that we really haven't got a chance to see all season long. I mean, fellas, like, are we confident that the Pittsburgh Steelers defense is back to playing normal football? Because I mean, I wouldn't say I'm 100% convinced, but I went from being not so convinced to being like, okay, I'm excited to see what this group can do going forward. Like it really opened my eyes, the dramatic turnaround of how they played in this game, and I mean really in the Vikings game too. But with how banged up the Vikings were, backup quarterback, three offensive linemen missing, like the Browns really weren't missing a ton of players, and I would say that was the strength of their team is that offensive line. And the fact they go out there and do that, man, I mean, that really, really raised my expectation. How did you all feel about that?
I think more of I need to see. I'm with you. I'm at I would say 75, 80. And that's because I need to see a consistent games of our corners playing, our starters being like playing together. We haven't seen
Mhm.
that this whole season, really. And once I see that consistency and just more from I know Patrick Queen is doing he's having a one of his I say his best year as a Steeler. He's having his best year as a Steeler, but I feel like he can him and Wilson and Holcomb can turn up just another notch, and that will put us where we need to be.
I'll put it this way. I definitely was very happy to see what we saw on Sunday. Um, I'd say I'm probably at like a. I mean, I feel like I was higher than most people on the team. Even after I was like, the defense is going to get it together. They just got to gel. It's a lot of older guys, but new to us, new to each other. Um, so I would say, let's say this on the defensive side of the ball. Um, I'm at like a 7.5. Um, the thing I want to see is like if we consistently keep stopping the run, I want to see us against an elite quarterback. Like when we play the Bills and they have some receivers, some more weapons than what the Browns have on the outside. That's when I'll be ecstatic. Or actually just call it the Packers. Like if we stop Josh Jacobs, huge. But then we go out there and stop the plethora of receivers that they have with a good quarterback like Jordan Love who can drop back 52 times and actually complete passes downfield and throw the ball deep. Like there's a couple I did see a couple of clips where Dylan Gabriel, like we said, he's a check down merchant. He probably very, very uneasy in the pocket against the Steelers, where he had like some post open that if he were to just give it one more second and let that thing go, it could have been a completely different game. So that's what I really need to see this secondary gel a little bit more. Um, the linebackers do need to take it up one more notch, like you said, Juwan. But when we go against like a quarterback that's I would say top 10, top 12 quarterback like Jordan Love, in my opinion.
Justin
Um,
Herbert,
yep.
Josh Allen, they're
These are
coming.
these are the quarterbacks. These are the quarterbacks we got to consistently keep stopping the run. But when we start playing a quarterback like that can sling it around and drop back 52 times, like we made Dylan Gabriel do that, and he's not supposed to be doing that. That's not how the Browns are built. But when we go against one of those guys, Jordan Love, like you said, Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, like those are guys that I want to see what the secondary got. We got another game like I don't want to call the Bengals game a warm up game, but it's another game where we should win it. I want to see the secondary be ready to go and locked in for a game against the Packers in 2 weeks. Not looking ahead, guys. Not looking ahead, but that's where my confidence will. We shut down Josh Jacobs and go out there and get 6 sacks on Jordan Love. I will be calling the Steelers Super Bowl favorites, man.
Mm,
I'd also like to make note of this. You know, Mike Tomlin had a very interesting comment that pertained to Cleveland and their GM and some decision making he made. Juwan, go ahead and get that clip up of Mike Tomlin's comment about Browns GM Andrew Berry as it pertained to their trading of Joe Flacco to the Cincinnati Bengals.
got you.
To be honest, it was shocking to me. Andrew Berry must be a lot smarter than me or us, because it doesn't make sense to me to trade a quarterback that you think enough of to make your opening day starter to a division opponent that's hurting in that area. But that's just my personal feelings.
That man,
It doesn't get old on
him to
that,
straight
man. I'm
up
telling
say
you right
Andrew
now.
Berry.
Oh man, I mean, he might as well have just said the Browns are the Browns. They're a bunch of bubs. Like who in the world who says that? Like I've never heard a head coach call
It,
out an opposing team's GM in a press conference. That listen, we've been critical of Mike Tomlin here in the last year or so. That was gold. That was absolute gold that he just landed on the Browns. Because I mean, seriously, like, why would you do that? Why
we
would
all
you
talked
trade a
about it.
quarterback that you were confident in week one to be your starter, and then trade them to help out a divisional opponent. That just doesn't make any sense to me.
It
I've
doesn't
never
make
seen
any.
nothing like that.
Oh, go ahead.
I
Go
was about to
ahead.
say, I've never seen nothing like that. Like,
Oh,
I feel that's what I'm saying. I feel like they're out to hunt us. Okay, they know that their season's over. They're trying to make it hard for us, and they know that Joe Flacco is our kryptonite, and they just want to see us fail. But it makes no sense because I agree with Tomlin. He was the starter, the opening day starter, and you trade him in the division to a team that needs a quarterback. You could have traded them anywhere else for like a fifth or sixth round pick, but you end up trading in the division, knowing we played them still twice.
Yeah.
yeah, and my take on that, man, is it's Mike Tomlin's moving different this year in many different ways. I think for him to just like straight up be like Andrew Berry, like when he's saying Andrew Berry must be a lot smarter than us. He's pretty much calling Andrew Berry a dumbass, and that
Yeah, he is.
that is the funniest thing I see Mike Tomlin do. That's the most I feel like he's like, tried to start beef. Like he don't usually do that stuff. So for
Yeah.
him to do that, he's moving different this year. Um and I need him to continue to back it up because if he's gonna keep acting like that, he better back it up with, having these guys ready to go like they were on Sunday.
Hey, Mike Tomlin has a nothing to lose attitude this year, and
Yeah.
let's
I love it, man.
let's give Tomlin props where he deserves it, right? You know, coming into this year, we were critical of in-game decisions, play calling, the amount of control that he had. I feel like defensively, the amount of blitzing that we've seen, offensively, the adjustments that they've made and the play calling that they've made and where they're throwing the ball and how much control they have given to Aaron and the trust they have given him. It just it feels very different. And it feels like, you know what? This is probably like genuinely his last go at it, and I feel like he's just putting all the cards out on the table. And to be honest, it's about time. It's
Took the
about time.
words you took the words right out of my mouth because I was gonna say that I seen a video on TikTok and this lady was explaining. She was like, what if this is the end all be all? Like Rogers, Rogers and Tomlin just ride off in the sunset. The Steelers
Totally.
win the Super Bowl. Steelers win the Super Bowl. This is the end of because this would be the best. This is the best scenario for both of them. Both been hated on. Both been saying that they one needs to retire, one needs to be fired. You know, this is the perfect situation to end off a career. I know we're going steps ahead talking about Super Bowl, but this will be the perfect way.
Going off of what you said, Juwan, and yeah, they're both guys that have chips on their shoulder this year. Both said they lost their touch, lost their voice in the locker room. Um, they This is a dangerous combination. Like I think Aaron Rodgers might be one of the best things that's happened to Mike Tomlin since Big Ben. Like Tomlin went out there and said, "This is the guy I want. This is the guy that I want to lead my team this year." He put all his eggs in one basket with Aaron Rodgers. We didn't go out and get a quarterback to start for us. We didn't draft a quarterback. He said, "Aaron Rodgers, you are getting the keys to my offense." Um, and I think it's good for Mike Tomlin too, because now he gives the keys to Aaron Rodgers on offense. Aaron Rodgers has so much experience. He can pretty much be that extra coach on offense. And then now Mike Tomlin, he has to be helping out with the defense more now. Like even if he wasn't calling plays before, or if he wasn't, he was more in tune with trying to get the offense back up to being a being a contender or at least mediocre from the last few years. Now he gets to focus on that defense. He gets to scheme up them and let Arthur Smith and Aaron Rodgers do their thing on offense. Um, yeah, Mike Tomlin's moving different, man, and like you said, dude, it would be a storybook ending to see these two just get one more.
And let me say this too, this offseason felt a little bit different. You know, the trading of Minka Fitzpatrick and getting Johnny Smith and Jalen Ramsey and the amount of different free agents like Rodgers and other guys going out and getting DK Metcalf in a big trade. Like, you got to think, like, they've made a lot of changes this year.
Not
And
normal.
so this whole change of philosophy, this change in game, this game planning, scheming, you know, letting Aaron and Arthur Smith kind of just kind of come together and really take the reins on the offensive side. I feel like with Arthur Smith being here for a second year, another offseason with him, you know, Tom was probably giving a little bit more trust to him. So, you know, all in all, like, but the acquisitions of players is just different. And now we're hearing rumors about potential in-season trades and possible movement between guys. So, you know, we've seen a lot of speculation on social media. I mean, really, like, Adam Schefter is coming out there and saying, like, it's kind of only a matter of time before the Steelers come out and make some form of offensive weapon addition, which we all would assume is a receiver. And so, you know, Trey wanted to talk about this and put out some hypotheticals of what we really want to see and what we'd be willing to give up. So, guys, I'm going to go ahead and let you get the floor. Trey, let's start with you. It was your idea of the segment. So, Trey, what's your idea? What would you be willing to give up and who do you want to go get?
All right, so yeah, this is I was just thinking about it. I think we should each go through. Let's not say a dream scenario. Let's go over who we'd want to get, why. Let's just give a whole like we're playing GM right now. Um, and the way I look at it is the more and more I think about it, how nice it would be to get like a Chris Olave or an AJ Brown, or even like I feel like Jacoby Myers would be like the top tier to my who I would want to get. But I'm gonna go with like what I think would be realistic. Um, I was talking to the guys about who I'd give up, and I think sending Pat Fryermuth wouldn't it wouldn't change the way I look at this offense at all. Um, so who I would give up is probably Pat Fryermuth. And the way I look at it is I don't want to give up any more draft capital because we will need to get a quarterback, when Aaron decides to hang it up, or even this year coming up, get them in there to sit under Aaron for a little bit. So I really don't want to give up any draft capital, maybe like a late round swap or something like that. So what I would do is I'm sending Pat Fryermuth, and who I'm sending him to would probably be I tried to send, well, I can't, you can't send him to the Raiders. So what I'm saying is we should send him to the Saints, get a Raheem Shaheed, and even pick up draft capital, because I think if you send Pat Fryermuth over there to the Saints, get a true like number two guy, take the top off of defense. Um he's a bigger body than what Calvin Austin is, so I like to see that little upgrade in size, and putting him next to Calvin Austin and three speed demons with DK, Calvin, and Rashid Shaheed. I think that is like my most realistic scenario. And we could even, I feel like sending Pat over there, we could get a swap for a pick, move up in a round, or even 2 rounds with that type of deal. Because Pat's more of an established kind of guy, maybe. But the way we've been using him, man, he might have lost some trade value. So what I would say is that we're sending Pat to the Saints for Raheem Shaheed, and we're swapping a fifth and sixth round pick. That'd be my ideal, or my most realistic situation or trade scenario.
Okay. Juwan, anything coming to mind for you?
Well, to piggyback off what he said, I think we should stay away from the 5'11" and under range of receivers. 'Cause I think
We don't need
Rashid,
those. Okay.
yeah, we don't need. Isn't he like 5'11"? Make sure. Man,
I know he's bigger than Calvin Austin. He has to be.
I mean but that's not saying much though.
I'm saying I don't want anybody small. Like I feel like Roman Wilson might be taller. I don't know, man.
He's 6 foot, but they
Yeah,
got
I'm like,
that's what they have. Roman Wilson and
but
don't they
he's
have Roman?
he's
Yeah,
a
Roman
lot bigger than
Wilson.
Roman Wilson.
But speaking of Roman Wilson, that will be the person that I would trade.
Oh, you were so high on him, I thought, bro.
Yes, I was. I was, but I'm the GM now. I tried to give him a chance. I'm trying to see. I want
Yeah,
him to have a good game. Hopefully on Thursday he have a good game, so his trade value will go up.
there we go. There we go. I
But
like it.
so I would trade Roman Wilson and a third to the Saints
For
for
Olave.
Chris Olave.
Yep, I knew it was coming.
That ain't gonna be enough. I'm just gonna tell you right now, that ain't gonna be enough.
Not
Yeah,
for
you
Olave.
Um,
right.
I listen. I'm gonna
We had
piggyback off
13.
Juwan, and I'm gonna give you a more realistic one. I'm sending Pat in a third. I'm bringing in Olave. Olave's 6 foot. Olave's an elite route runner. Olave would be a great complement to DK Metcalf. They're two completely different receivers. Having a guy like DK and Calvin takes the top off the defense and lets a route runner like Olave get open. I
See,
say,
the
you
only
know
thing
what?
about
We
that
got,
is
listen, hear me out. We got a third from Dallas. We're going to get a third compensatory pick. We have a third of our own. Use one of them. Go and get Chris Olave. We got two solid tight ends. Connor Hayward can play in a pinch. Like, I love Pat. I love Pat for I do. I really, really do. But they're not using him,
So do
boys.
I.
They're not. And Darnell Washington is an elite pass blocker. And to be honest, Pat hasn't been consistent enough, and we're already seeing Darnell get more involved. I say move him, get some extra money, bring in a guy like Olave, and just really let this offense just explode
see that's
because
my thing.
I
I don't
think it
think we
would.
should move off of him though. I don't think we
Mhm.
should move off of Pat.
I
You,
mean, but they're
I
not. They're
wouldn't
not.
notice
They're not
him
using
not
him though.
being. I would know. I wouldn't notice him not being on the team anymore at this point.
I don't think we should
I
move
mean,
off.
Bro,
and
he
it's
played
also
like
like
nine
it's also
snaps.
we're paying the guy right now, and he's not
That's
doing anything.
another thing. That's
That's I mean
another thing.
that has to factor in the equation. Like you're paying a guy. We know how much Arthur Smith uses tight ends in his offense, and he's not using them. Like he's not being used, and there has to be a certain reason why. And it's just like I think it comes down to they've been wanting Pat Fryermuth to develop as a blocker for many many years. And although, yeah, maybe he's gotten better than he was in his early years, it's still not good enough
I,
for this particular offense. And if he can't do it, I'm sorry, like he's not going to play. And
oh,
If Johnu Smith and Darnell Washington are better consistent blockers and can make plays in the passing game, guess who's getting clock? It's them. And Pat's going to be out because he's the third best blocker in the tight end room, and that's just a fact.
and I want to point out too. You said about Connor Hayward. I mean, if we're gonna factor in Pat Fryermuth, being a pass catcher and stuff, Connor Hayward showed that. Connor Hayward showed more blocking
No,
ability
no,
than
no.
Pat. You're telling me, bro? Did you that catch? That catch, like that alone, he has had just as many snaps as Pat Fryermuth, who's getting paid
But you think
what?
so? You're saying that
Take their payroll next to each other, what they're getting paid, and Connor Hayward has produced more this year than what Pat Fryermuth has, and
It's
has the same amount of snaps
hey,
in the past game.
how though?
it's
Are
it's
What do
we
you mean
saying
facts.
how?
are we saying based on that touchdown?
What?
Are
No,
we saying
it's
based on the
based. He's
touchdown?
talking about based on his production and the snap percentages into which he's getting.
And
So
then put their
yes,
salary in the consideration too. Connor
it's
Hayward's
just
getting paid nothing.
it's like they've got to make a choice. And I'm sorry, but if you're getting a guy like Olave and you're throwing a third round pick with Pat Fryermuth, it makes too
That's
much
a no brainer
sense.
to me. That's
It
a no
it, it,
brainer.
it makes it just completely changes this offense. And
Let
again,
me say,
and I'm coming from this saying like I'm sure Pat could go somewhere else and find a role in a more pass heavy offense. I'm just telling you that role right now is not in Pittsburgh. You
it's
see,
not.
you see Pat Fryermuth go to a more of a pass happy offense that relies on that doesn't go right. Like if he goes to the Chiefs or goes somewhere, yeah, sure, you're gonna look at that and be like, wow, we really dropped the ball on that. But it's just that's not how we play football. It's just not, and we really more than likely never will. And
And
so if he's not fitting into the offense and he's getting paid all this money, and you already got two other tight ends that can come in and do what he does and block better than him, That's just how this league works. I mean, it's just a fact of it.
Oh, go ahead. I'm just saying, and then they look at George Pickens going to Dallas. Have we missed him? I feel like as much as he's producing over there, like he's in the perfect offense for George Pickens right now.
He's
And then we got DK, and then we got DK to replace him. We got JUNNIE who can come in. Like I feel like that was the best case scenario for both of us. And I feel like that would be
George
the
is in
best.
an offense without CD Lamb right now. I
Yeah,
mean, with as bad as Dallas's defense are, and they're always in shootouts because they're
they're
the worst
throwing it
defense
up.
in the league. He is literally looking like a monster because he's getting all the looks. CD
Yeah.
Lamb comes back. I mean, let's talk about George Pickens then. Let's talk like when CD comes back in a few weeks. Let's see where George Pickens is at then.
Those are the numbers CD was putting up before George Pickens got there. Like he's getting
Pass
he's
heavy
getting
offense.
CD's Lamb he's getting CD Lamb's target share now. So he just went from being the number two, getting the first week or two he was getting maybe like 5-6 catches. Now he's getting 12 targets. Like, and that's what I'm saying. I feel like it was the best case scenario. So like you look at that. We traded away George Pickens. We got DK. With that DK deal, or with that George Pickens deal, we also picked up a Jonnu Smith alongside of getting another weapon on offense with getting Jalen Ramsey too. So like we do that, we get rid of a weapon on offense, we'll pick up a new one that is a better fit for us. Like I just see it as a no brainer. I like that deal. I like your deal a lot better than my deal, honestly. I just don't want and I don't think Olave is this way. So I feel like target share won't be that big of a deal for him. I was thinking like if we were to go out and get an AJ Brown or somebody like that that's very comparable to DK in sense of like they're number ones. Like Olave is the number one of the Saints, but I feel like he'd be okay with the number even like a 1B type of role
He'll
or
be
like a
okay
two
with
role.
anything other than the
The
Saints.
Saints, yeah, exactly. And that's why I think that's a better. I just didn't want to go out and get another, like AJ Brown's been a diva with the Eagles. They're winning and like he's still
AJ Brown is a personality that this team does not need.
no
And
hundred
I'm
percent.
saying that as somebody who covered the Titans and watched how he was there and seen how he is in Philly. And it's like, listen, if he's unhappy winning Super Bowls because
Yeah,
the
we don't
Eagles
think
are a
about that.
run first team and he's not getting consistent looks, like he's not going to be happy anywhere. And I'm sorry, I don't want that in my locker room. I don't care how talented you are. I just
I
don't.
think Olave just I've never heard like a bad thing. I don't even hear much about him to be honest.
I think
That'd be a
trying
no
to get
brainer,
Chris
bro.
Olave at the right price and being able to give up a Pat Fryermuth for it. We're heavy at tight end. We're lacking in receiver. It just makes too much sense, and that's where I'm at with it. So,
I agree. I agree. I like that a lot.
all right, boys, we're running up here on 40 minutes. Do we have anything else we want to add before we wrap up today's show?
One last thing. We got to talk about this O line gelling and our run game getting going. With Darnell being in there, I just want to give a shout out. We don't have to talk about it too much, but I just want to give a shout out to the O line. The run game's getting better every week. And in years past, we didn't get it going until later in the season. So if we get this run game going early with Aaron Rodgers' ability to play action, like this offense has really progressed week in and week out, and I'm loving to see it. And I feel like Arthur Smith's just getting more creative now too. Like we had DK at fullback. Like I don't know what that was about.
That
I didn't
was
really
that was
like it. I don't
like
want
he
to
said
see
that
that
was his
again.
first time playing
But
it.
but
That
him
was his first
trying
time.
new stuff, I'm loving it. Um, Man, I'm super excited about the progression of this offense and this offense line starting to gel. Man, I think we keep that run game going. And Jalen Warren, man, that dude, we talk bad on him for like losing the ball and things like that, but he is literally, dude.
He's a
He
dog.
is, dude. He's a dog, and he's just so
He's a
explosive.
dog.
You never know what you're gonna get from him in the sense of like dude could be hitting the backfield and run for another 40 yards. Like he's just a bowling ball out there, man. Yeah, I'm loving the way this offense is progressing. But shout out to the offensive line for getting this run game going. Shout out to Darnell Washington for being 6'8" and 320 pounds.
His time is coming. You see that his odds of getting a touchdown each week
That's
is
one thing that scares me, though. That's one thing that scares me. All these teams are taking notice of this, but you're not going to stop that,
You're not
man.
gonna snipe him.
You can take notice of this guy all day long. He's 6'8", 320, he could run like that. I don't care.
Yeah, you're not stopping
Praise Mount Washington. Let's
Mount
go.
Washington. Man, I can't wait till the day. Can't wait till the day that he scores a touchdown.
Well, boys,
I hope it's Thursday. I really hope it's Thursday. If it's Thursday, it's gonna.
We say that every week. We say that every week.
fellas, the clearly the morale is really high in Steeler Nation. Hopefully they can keep it up. Big game against the Bengals. A lot of us think that we have the matchup, but again, it's division on the road Thursday night. Anything can happen. I mean, the Giants just whooped up on the Eagles on Thursday night, so let's not get super confident. We will be running an episode either tomorrow or on Thursday. We have not decided exactly when we're going to do it, but we're going to talk about it and post when we are going to go live. Breaking that down, JAWAN will be in Cincinnati for the game. So that's kind of where we're going to factor in on where we're going to do it. So either way, we will have a full breakdown of Bengals Steelers Thursday night football for you guys before it is all said and done.
Wait,
But
one more thing. That this is the thing that scares me about this game. The Steelers are 0-8 in the Super Bowl era on Thursday night football games on the road. That's all I had to say.
We will break all of that down in our pregame episode here. But for the Stealing with the Boys podcast, we are out.
Let's get this win. Let's keep the momentum going. Here we go.
All hail Darnell.
All hail Mount Washington.